66 million years ago, Earth was ruled by giants. For more than 160 million years, dinosaurs dominated every corner of the planet. From massive plant eaters roaming ancient forests, to powerful predators that ruled the land. But far beyond the Earth, something was already on its way. A massive asteroid, traveling silently through space for millions of years, was now heading straight for our planet. Within minutes, it would change life on Earth forever. What really happened on the last day of the dinosaurs? And how did life on Earth survive the greatest disaster in its history? Before we uncover what happened on the last day of the dinosaurs, I want to ask you something. Do you think dinosaurs could still exist today if that asteroid had missed Earth? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you enjoy documentaries like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Now, to understand how everything began, we have to go back 66 million years. 66 million years ago, our planet looked very different. Vast forests stretched across the continents, untouched and wild. Giant ferns and towering trees covered the land, creating a world full of life, movement, and constant change. Across these ancient landscapes, enormous herds of plant-eating dinosaurs moved slowly through the valleys and forests, shaping the environment with every step. Creatures like triceratops traveled together in massive groups, protecting their young as they searched for food across the endless plains. But this peaceful world was far from safe. Hidden within the shadows of the forests, powerful predators ruled the land. Among them was one of the most formidable hunters to ever walk the earth, Tyrannosaurus rex. Powerful jaws and senses perfectly adapted for hunting, it watched the landscape, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. To survive in this dangerous world, some dinosaurs evolved extraordinary defenses. Armored giants like Ankylosaurus carried thick bony plates across their bodies, and powerful tail clubs capable of delivering devastating blows. And high above this ancient world, the skies were ruled by creatures just as extraordinary. Enormous flying reptiles soared across the horizon, riding the winds that flowed above the prehistoric continents. Among them was Quetzalcoatlus, one of the largest flying animals that ever lived. With wings wider than many small airplanes, it could glide effortlessly for miles across the ancient skies. For millions of years, life seemed unstoppable. Ecosystems thrived. Dinosaurs dominated the land, the oceans, and the air. But far beyond the blue sky of this thriving world, something was already on its way. Something that would change life on Earth forever. Far beyond the fragile blue sky of Earth, in the silent depths of space, something ancient was already in motion. A colossal asteroid, measuring between 10 and 12 kilometers wide, drifting through the darkness for millions of years. Now, its path had changed. Pulled by gravity, it was heading straight toward Earth. At over 20 kilometers per second, faster than any bullet ever fired. There would be no escape, no warning, no second chance. What was coming would unleash an energy equivalent to billions of nuclear explosions. This was the beginning of the Cretaceous Paleogene extinction event. It began in an instant, a flash brighter than the sun, followed by a force beyond comprehension. When the asteroid struck near what is now the Chicxulub crater, the Earth itself seemed to shatter. The ground trembled, violently, as shockwaves raced across continents at unimaginable speed. Forests were flattened in seconds. Mountains echoed with the sound of destruction. Anything in the immediate path was simply erased. But the impact was only the beginning. Debris blasted into the atmosphere, launched high above the planet. And then it came back down. Across the skies, thousands of burning fragments rained toward the surface, turning the air itself into fire. Forests ignited instantly. Flames spread across entire continents. The world was burning. Near the coasts, the oceans rose. Massive tsunamis, hundreds of meters tall, raced inland, swallowing everything in their path. For those who survived the first moments, escape was impossible. The heat was unbearable, the air unbreathable, and the sky no longer blue. Ash and dust filled the atmosphere, blocking out the sun, turning day into darkness. Temperatures began to fall. Plants withered, ecosystems collapsed. The chain of life was breaking. Herbivores could no longer find food. Predators grew weaker, and across the planet, life slowly began to fade. Creatures that had ruled the Earth for over 160 million years were now facing extinction. This was the true power of the Cretaceous Paleogene extinction event. But even in the face of total destruction, life would find a way to endure. Because from the ashes of this lost world, a new chapter in Earth's history was about to begin. Silence. For a long time, the world remained quiet. The giants were gone, the forests reduced to ash, and the skies empty. But life had not vanished completely. Hidden beneath the ground, sheltered in burrows, small mammals endured. They were not the strongest nor the largest, but they were adaptable. They could hide, they could wait, they could survive. And when the world finally began to stabilize, they emerged, not as rulers, but as survivors. In the waters, another group had endured. Crocodilians, unchanged, resilient, ancient. They survived the fires, the darkness, and the collapse of ecosystems, waiting patiently as they had for millions of years. And in the skies, something remarkable remained. Not all dinosaurs were gone. Some had already changed. Feathers had replaced scales, wings had replaced arms. They no longer dominated the land, but they had conquered the air. Birds, the last living descendants of the dinosaurs. Life had changed forever. The age of giants had ended. But from their extinction, a new world began to rise. A world shaped not by size or strength, but by adaptation. Because the dinosaurs didn't truly disappear. They evolved. And even today, they are still with us. In the sky above, in the rivers below, and all around us. The world didn't end that day. It changed. For years, the sun could barely reach the surface. And yet, beneath the ashes, life endured. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, the world began to heal. The light returned, the skies cleared, and life found a way. In the shadows of extinction, a new story was beginning. Small, unnoticed creatures stepped into an empty world. Mammals. They adapted. They evolved. They rose. Over millions of years, they would reshape the planet. Forests returned. Rivers flowed once more. Life flourished again. And eventually, they would give rise to us. If that asteroid had missed Earth by just a few minutes, perhaps dinosaurs would still rule the planet today. But history chose a different path. If you enjoyed this documentary and want to support more stories like this, subscribe to the channel